Let's have a look. So I'm going to be teaching or learning together with you a very short piece from Rabbi Nachman. And this piece is fundamental in being able to discover our inner joy and understand what are the possible tribulations and the possible elements of life that remove us from that place of inner joy. So let's listen to the words of Rabbi Nachman and try and understand what he's teaching us. So he says the following: Hayetzer hara doime kamoy misha hoylech v'ratz bein b'nei adam. The Yetzer hara, which is otherwise known as our ego, is similar to the following thing. Okay, and listen to this analogy carefully. It's essentially an entire analogy, but let's understand and allow the words to penetrate. He says it's similar to an individual that is walking and running amongst people in the marketplace. Okay, interesting. Never thought that would be the analogy. The yadoi segura, and his hand is clenched, closed, like this. All right. What is he doing with his hand? Is he going to punch someone? Listen to what he says. Ve'ein adam yoideh ma b'seichei, and no one knows what is in his hand. No one has a clue what is in the Yetzer hara's hand. V'meramem b'nei adam v'shoyel lekol echad mi ani oichez, ma ani oichez, and he asks everyone in a way of trickery, what do you think I'm holding? Hey, what do you think I got in my hand? And it seems to everyone that sees this Yetzer hara holding something in his hand and his hand is clenched tight. It seems that there's something in that person's hand, in the Yetzer hara's hand, that it's something that they deeply want, deeply desire. It was going to be the answer to every single thing that they need in life. And everyone chases after the Yetzer hara, after this individual with their hand shut tight. Because everyone thinks that what is in the Yetzer hara's hand is exactly what they need in life. And you know what happens? Afterwards, after we've been chasing him, he opens up his hand. Ve'ein ba klum. And what do you think's inside it? Nothing. Zilch. Ki ein mi sheyamale. So let's have a look at what happens. Ki ve'ein ba klum. Ki ein mi sheyamale tavosei etzlei. Gam nidme kol ha'tayvos shel ha'olam k'mo amudei or hanichnasim bebayis min ha'or. So the analogy concludes by Rabbi Nachman, and this is what we'll speak about together. He says, and we'll come to this final analogy, actually. We'll come back to this analogy at the end. Okay, but what's this initial analogy? What is it coming to teach us? So what do you guys think? What do you think it means that the Yetzer hara is running around with his hand closed and clenched tight, and we chase the Yetzer hara thinking that exactly what's in the hand is exactly what we need in our lives. And we spend our entire time running after this Yetzer hara, after this ego. And eventually the Yetzer hara just opens up his hand and we realize nothing's in the hand. So what do you guys think this means? Aaron, what do you think?
I think it means you must find out what you're chasing before you start chasing it.
But we see that there's nothing that he's actually chasing. It's all a hoax.
Yeah, that's the point. He didn't actually know what he was chasing. You should find out what to chase before you start running.
Okay, so you're saying there's many things that we sometimes chase in our lives. We don't know why we're chasing them. We just chase them. But here
we think we're chasing something, but we're not actually chasing what we think we're chasing.
Okay, good. We're sometimes chasing the wrong things. All right. Anyone else have an idea here? Mikey, yeah, what do you think? Yeah, Grant, go for it, Grant. But we want to see your beautiful face, especially with that haircut.
Okay, let me put my video back on.
I just called him.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go for it, Grant, but we can't see you though.
So I turned it off. I don't know how to turn it back on now.
Okay, carry on anyway.
Yeah.
Grant, you've just muted yourself. Okay, we'll come back to Grant.
That's to chase certain things is a bit of an illusion. So chasing success and material things is an illusion, and there's nothing there. So he opens the hand and he shows that you're chasing something that's impossible to it's never going to make you happy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so I think this is a really, really important approach here and way of opening up this analogy. And if you think about it, and I was thinking about this in the entire time. I took the kids out to the promenade just now, and I knew I was about to teach this. And to work on this is so difficult. It is so difficult, especially when you become so aware of how the mind functions and what you do inside of yourself. And that is the concept that you always say to yourself, something in the future, something, but not right now, something is going to happen that is going to make my life perfect. Something is going to eventuate that will allow me to feel a state of wholesomeness. And you think and you anticipate and you engage constantly with the imagination of the future, be it that one creates a form of success that you spoke about, Grant, or that a person thinks about exciting things in the future that they need. But there is seemingly a state of mind, there is seemingly a state of the ego, which is there to distract us from the essence of life itself. And the way that it presents itself is with its hand, its fist, running around saying, I got something for you. I got something for you right here. Come have a look. And you think to yourself, and you say, oh my gosh, that's it. If only I had what he has in his hand, then I will be full. Then everything will be okay. And what Rabbi Nachman explains to us is eventually the hand or the fist is opened up and you realize nothing was there to start off with, which means that you will be able to potentially access what you got. But accessing it leaves you with a deep feeling of nothingness, a feeling of vacuum state of being, of I thought I was going to have everything through this, and then I realized it's actually not giving me what I need. So we watched a film yesterday, actually, with the kids. And it was one of the most profound and amazing films that we watched. And it's a film called Soul. And it's about this jazz musician, and a highly recommended film to watch. It's about this jazz musician that's his entire life is trying to get a gig. His entire life is trying to be successful. And he dies and comes back alive and eventually plays one of the biggest jazz musicians. And after the gig, and he played amazingly, after the gig, he comes out and he's feeling depressed. And he says to this other jazz musician, I just don't get it. My entire life, I've been chasing this, but I don't feel any different. I actually feel lower than I ever felt before. I thought that this was going to give me the feeling of exuberance, of fullness, of wholesomeness, of life that I was looking for. And it hasn't given me that. And the analogy that this other jazz musician gives, which I still think resonates so deeply with me, and I think you would appreciate as well, is a story of this fish that's swimming in the ocean, swimming in the water, and it's coming to everyone and asking them, where is the ocean? Where is the ocean? Where is the ocean? I'm looking for the ocean. But little does it know, it's in the water. It's there in the ocean itself. But we're looking for the ocean. And essentially, this is the meaning of this lesson. And this is something that we have to really draw into ourselves. And that is the understanding that our experience of the most simple frameworks of life, which are found not in the future or in the past, not in any acquisitions or any forms of achievements, to find oneself anywhere beyond the now is exactly the analogy that we're engaging with, that we are trying to grasp at elements which are there to distract us from life itself. And if we were to understand that the greatest blessing, the greatest source of blessing, and to this I want to conclude, comes from an individual called Aaron HaKohen. We know the whole source of blessing comes from the Kohanim, the priestly blessing. And the Kohanim were the individuals responsible for the nexus, the meeting place between heaven and earth. Now, Aaron, found within his name, is the secret to what we are looking for in order to be able to bridge heaven and earth. And what is that? If you look at the letters of Aaron, it's spelt Aleph, Hey, Resh, Nun. Okay, why is that so significant? So Aleph is always significant because it represents oneness. It represents exactly what we're looking for in life, that feeling of unity, that feeling of wholesomeness, that feeling that, oh, once I get that, or once I do this and achieve that, I'm just going to feel whole in myself. We want that oneness. We want that Aleph, which represents one, the numerical value of one. But then there are the final letters of Aaron's name, which are the fundamental letters, and that is the letter Hey, the letter Resh, and the letter Nun. Why are those fundamental letters? Anyone have an idea? Why is the letter Hey, Resh, and Nun so important? No clue. Batya, help us out here, man. No. Mikey, any ideas? Okay. So the letters Hey, Resh, and Nun are fundamental because if you look at the numerical levels within the counting in Judaism or in Hebrew, you have what you call the tens. So you count from Aleph to Yud, that's the tens, or that's the ones essentially, from 1 to 10. Then you count up from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40. So if you look at the Hebrew letters, they all represent different numerical values. So Aleph is 1, Beis is 2, Gimel is 3, all the way to Tes, which is 9. And then it goes to Yud. Yud is 10, Chaf is 20, Lamed is 30, etc., etc. Then it gets to 100. Then what's the next number after 100 in Hebrew? 200. Yeah, 200. Thank you, Bacha. So 200 is the next number in Hebrew. Then it goes 200, 300, 400. Now listen to this. If you take the letters Aaron, okay, Hey is 5. Hey is the middle letter of all of the ones. Then, very good, David. Then Nun, which is the final letter of Aaron, is 50. That's the middle number or letter of all of the hundreds. And then Resh of Aaron is 200. That's the middle number from 100 to 400, which is the Hebrew ways of counting. Now, why is that so fundamental? Because Aaron is telling us that if you want to feel that wholesomeness, that oneness, if you want to feel the unification between heaven and earth, we need to come to a realization that what we're looking for is nowhere in front of us or behind us. What we're looking for is essentially right where we are right now. It's not in the future. It's not through an acquisition. And you can feel this. You know, I bought my son some new skating wheels today for his skateboard. And he's so pumped the whole day. You know, he's begging me for these wheels, begging me, please, 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 please. And then he gets on his skateboard. And you know what? One of the first things he says, he passes by another person on a skateboard. He's initially very, very excited, very happy, passes by someone with another skateboard. And he says, Dad, can you get me that one for my birthday? You know, I want that other skateboard for my birthday. And you think to yourself and you say, 1 second, what is pshat here? What is going on? What is going on? You just got something new. You were so excited for this. You felt so whole. And a second later, you think, let me get this other one for my birthday. What is happening here? And if we think about it, and it hit me, that's the exact thing that happens to me, and the exact thing that happens to exactly what the Rabbi Nachman is teaching us with the Yetzer Hara. It runs in front of us with its fist closed, saying, I've got something that you want. I've got the answer, the elixir of life. It's right here in my hand. And you say, wow, and you're chasing it and chasing it and chasing and chasing. And then you finally get to it and you open it up, nothing there. My gosh, what have I been doing chasing this? It's right in front of me, right inside of me. The most simplest ability to tap into one's breath, to tap into one's existence, to tap in a state of gratitude, to tap into the state of being rather than doing. All of these are the elements of attaining a deeper sensitivity to spirituality and to our essence. And this is what Rabbi Nachman concludes in the analogy. And he says that the majority, if not all, of our desires and aspirations in life, when they become a force that we look for our own identity in, and the place that we look for our own happiness in, he says they are similar to amudei or hanechnasin bebayis min ha'or hachama shenira b'chush shu nidme le'amudei machmas hazricha shel hachama. They are similar to rays of light that stream into the house in the morning when you open up your blinds, and you see these rays of light coming in, and you almost can grasp them, you can almost grab them. But what do you have in your hand after you've grabbed those lights, those rays? Nothing. Nothing is in your hand. This is what we refer to as the ego and the trap of the ego. And the message for us is to be able to realize that all of those imaginative things that we have in our minds, those aspirations that we have in our minds, not to say that you shouldn't aspire for anything, not to say that you shouldn't want to grow and you shouldn't want to try and make money and you shouldn't want to try and get married and have kids and build a home, etc., etc. But what it's saying is to not look for those elements to fill you and create an identity for you, because that identity is never found anywhere else but inside of you. And that's the danger of feeling that you're chasing your tail. And that is the experience that people feel in life, constantly chasing their tail, constantly thinking, oh, look, it's not in this hand, but it's in this hand. Oh, but it's not in that hand, maybe it's in this hand. And you keep on opening up the hand and nothing's there, okay? So I think the practice that we should bring in a practical way in our own lives is, number one, sensitize yourself, okay? When you have that thinking or that mode of thinking, and it says to you, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, ask yourself, 1 second, what are you excited for? And what is the downfall after you acquiesce or after you take that thing and you have it as yours? How do you feel after that? Is there just an endlessness? Is there a sinking sandpit of consistently looking for you in something outside of you? And this is the message of Rabbi Nachman, I think a very vital message, especially in today's contemporary society, where we have to realize every single thing that you need and want is found inside of you right now. Slow down your life and stop looking constantly without and constantly in front and constantly in the future to be able to experience the self, because it's not there. It's right in front of you. Yeah. Any questions, comments, statements, concerns, jokes? Mikey, you want to say something? Thumbs up. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Lancy. Shkoyach, brother. Awesome to see you.
Rabbi, I just wanted to ask, where is this passage from? I missed that in the beginning.
This is from Rabbi Nachman. So he has a teaching from something called the Sichos Haran. Sichos Haran. And these are short little excerpts that they took from him in his teachings, in Europe. And that's a compilation here. I can actually send you, there's a beautiful translation I have of this, which I'll try and send to you once we finish the class. Yeah. But Rabbi Nachman, a lot of his
Awesome, thank
teaching,
you.
thank you, my brother, thank you. A lot of these teachings are there to center and ground the self, you know, so you stop feeling that state of frustration, you know, and it's a difficult one because, you know, we always love to think about what's in the future and we get so hung up on the future, but it becomes so detrimental because we feel so empty and we feel so much in pain. And I was saying that to myself as I was walking along the promenade. Just be where you are. Stop trying to think that you're going to find yourself in the future, solving something, creating something, changing something. That's not going to give you a feeling of wholesomeness. Wholesomeness is exactly where you are right now. Take a breath, enter into that right now and find yourself there. And all of those hands with nothing in them all around, just look at them and say, I know your tricks. I know what you're up to. Yeah. All right, Chevra. Dean, what do you say? Give us some deep philosophical insight here, Dean. Dean's too nervous, okay. Any other comments, any other questions? Yes, Batya.
Whichever you prefer. No, I was just going to say, is the technique to sort of like get into the now breath, essentially, like when you get stuck in that headspace of, you know, running with the empty hand kind of thing.
I think that's a very good question.
Like to tap into that energy.
Yeah, I think there are a number of techniques and it depends what the reason is for you to feel a sense of chaos. And chaos can be found in a number of places. Chaos can be found in the body through one's desires. Chaos can be found within one's emotions through different feelings of anxiety or feelings of fear. And chaos can be found in the mind through the imagination and through all of the elements of confusion that come from the mind. So there are different techniques that address those different parts of where the chaos is coming from. But, you know, the elements of breath and the elements of humbling the self to a state of deeper essence through the practice of Torah and mitzvahs. Us learning now and studying is essentially saying, no, 1 second. There is too much pain around me. There is too much going on. I mean, even while I was about to give this class, I was thinking to myself and trying to engage with the pull of Netflix, you know, how does that feel? To choose now to learn Torah or switch off and put your face out there and learn and engage and take some time out of your life to actually live versus distracting the self with some form of future, you know, need of doing some work or distracting oneself from needing to do some work with watching Netflix or whatever it is. There's a very powerful energy there. And I was just thinking about it, you know, I was thinking like, how do you even break through that? How do you even do that, you know? And it's a powerful energy, it is. But you know that feeling after you've watched however many things on Netflix and you just feel even more emptier than before because you've just run further away from yourself. And the realization is not to beat oneself up. Just say, 1 second, I'm feeling frustrated. Okay, why am I feeling frustrated? I'm feeling frustrated because I'm chasing my tail. Let me stop, just stop. Okay, now where am I? Who am I? You can access yourself through the breath. You can access yourself through looking at the simple and a natural expression of life around you. So look at nature, look at just an inanimate object and how it just sits there, not having to do anything, it's just being. All of these states of experience within the inner self, not in a state of doing anything, just sitting and being, is going to allow you to experience that refreshed state, you know. And there is a number of techniques that a person needs to engage with, but, you know, I think the breath, and I think a state of meditation, and I think even to sit and learn, but not for the sake of achievement, you know, understand? Just to tap into the energy and the light that's behind the words of Torah, yeah? That's a very different ideology and perception with engaging with anything, even prayer. When you daven, don't daven to get something answered, daven to tap into the light behind the prayer and just feel a state of presence, feel the state of being. Yeah, these are all methods that are there to assist you to come deeper into yourself, you know. And there's a lot of other techniques, but we can discuss them again. But the first one is recognizing. Yeah, that's it. Just recognize. I'm chasing someone that I think has something in their hand that they need, that I think I need, and it's not there. There's nothing there, you know. And it's just insane the extent that these things go to. We lose our appreciation for every single thing that we have in our own lives because of this person running with their hand, you know. We absolutely become totally unconscious, totally blind to reality because of this rote experience of chasing our tails to find ourselves. Yeah. So thank you for that question, Katja. I really appreciated it. As I did all of your questions and all of your faces. And even if your faces aren't here, I appreciate you being here and connecting together with us and learning together with us and investing in yourself, which is essentially what we're here to do. Yeah. All right. Any other questions before we conclude? All right, my friends, go and watch this film. I highly recommend it. I have not cried in a film for a long time. And I was sitting with my 4-year-old next to me I was just bawling my eyes out. Thank God I had 3D sunglasses on so no one could see. But it's just such an awesome film. You should definitely check it out. But it's called Soul. Check it out. Sending love and bracha. And please God, we'll try and connect again together with some more learning. Thank you, Chevra. All the best. Look after yourselves. Bye.
Right, Rabbi, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Such a
Rabbi.
pleasure.